the third step?
To add attributes.
Attributes. We have to add the attributes to entities as well as, if possible, for relationship set. Okay. Then fourth step. We have done with entities. We have done with
Is to add
relationship set.
cardinalities.
Yes.
Fourth step is to add cardinality.
Add the cardinality. Yeah, that is our fourth step where we have done with our entities and relationships. So we have to show the cardinalities. How many entities from the entity set are participating in that particular relationship set. So that is nothing but the cardinality. And final step is to add
The primary keys.
primary key for every entities. Okay, if entity is not having its own primary key, then it is called as which type of entity?
Weak entity.
Weak entity. And an entity which is having a primary key is known as a
So
Strong entity.
strong entity, or we can also say identifying entity, okay, or entity set. So these are the steps which we have seen in last lecture already. So we'll go ahead with that simple rough diagram of hospital management system. Then we have seen participation of an entity set in a relationship set. What is total participation? How your entity and are taking participation in a relationship set. Based on that, we have seen two participation. One is total. So what is the total participation? Anyone? I gave you
uh,
example of a customer and loan. Yes, someone is
every
talking.
every entity and entity set participates in at least one
Entity.
relationship. Every entity and
Yeah,
entity set.
every entity from the participate in an connected
Relationship.
relationship set. Correct. So that is total participation relationship. Then what is a partial participation?
Some entities
What
may
is a
not
partial
participate.
participation?
Some entity some entities may not
Correct.
participate.
Some and few entities. Correct, correct. Few entities from our entity set participate in an relationship set. Okay, so that is known as a partial participation, and we have seen the notation for that. Double line in double horizontal line indicate it is total participation. So I explained you that day. If you are taking loan, then only your loan number is generated. So every entity is participating in a borrower. But some customers are there who who will not take the loan from the bank. Okay, so that they are every customer is not participating in a borrower. So that is partial participation, which is represented just with a solid line. Then we have seen weak entity set. Okay, as we know, weak entity set will not have its own primary key, but there is one key with weak entity set. What is the name of that weak entity set key name? The key which is present with weak entity set. What is the name for that? Two names
Partial
I
key.
told you last time. Yes,
Partial
partial key is one, and second
discriminator.
discriminator. Very good. So these are the two keys weak entity set will have. And every time weak entity set will participate with a total. Why with a total participation? Because it is dependent on a strong entity set. So it has to go with a strong entity set. Okay, fine. Then a notation for everything. General notation quickly. Those who know the answer they can give. Entity is represented as a normal entity. I am asking. Entity set or entity. Yes. I can't hear you.
Rectangle, rectangle, ma'am.
Rectangle.
Rectangle. And yes. Then second attribute is represented as a
Diamond.
Attributes. Attributes.
Oval shape.
Oval or ellipse. And then relationship represented as a
Diamond.
Diamond.
diamond. Correct. Primary key is just underlined to the attribute. Then derived attribute is represented as a derived attribute.
Dotted ellipse.
Dotted ellipse. Then weak entity set is represented as a weak entity set is represented as a
Dashed line.
weak entity set. Normal entity set we represent, yeah,
Double rectangle.
double rectangle. Correct, correct. And then sorry, 1 minute. I'll just explain this. Then we derived attribute we did. Composite attribute is represented as a composite attribute. See, this all we have covered. So just revising. Composite attribute is represented as a one ellipse, and then further it is divided to number of ellipse, right? So that is the notation for composite attribute. Fine. Then multi-valued attribute is represented as a multi-valued phone number.
Double ellipse.
Double ellipse, right? So that these all few simple notations which we required now in our ER diagram. So we have seen this weak entity set. Different types of keys we have covered. Out of these, as I told you, super key, candidate key, primary key, and foreign key. These are very important as per your exam point of view. But you should know other keys. So every key I have added over here. So we'll go ahead with that. Then we have learned the different concept of extended ER diagram, that is EER. Normal ER was till that point only. Then extended ER diagram, you can add generalization, specialization, aggregation. Further in that, again with some part with known as a disjoint, overlapping. Okay. So in this, what is generalization? What is generalization? Can anyone tell me? Generalization. Okay, I'll give option. Generalization is top to bottom or bottom to top.
Bottom to top.
Bottom to top, because at top we are generalizing something, and top to bottom is just reverse of that. That is specialization. We are showing the as per the, or we can say we are dividing as per their specialization. Okay, so that is about the generalization, specialization represented with reverse triangle. Okay, and in that you have to write a keyword is a. So this was the notation which we have seen last time. Person. So we can say employee is a person. Okay, or customer is a person. Similarly, officer is an employee. Okay, and one main thing I asked you to note down, that is when you are showing the generalization and specialization in your ER diagram, at least one of the attribute you have to show to each and every entity set, which are your specialized entity set. If it is not there, these attributes, then you cannot say these two are different, because they all are having these common attributes, that is person ID, name, street and city and so on. Okay, so that is important part. Then we have seen what all things are, this is covered, that is about the diagram explanation which we did. Then disjoint and overlapping, I told you. Overlapping means an entity from entity set, top level entity set, can belong to more than one low level entity set. Means for example, here you can see person. Person, whatever entities are present in this entity set, they can be employee of the bank as well as they can be customer of a bank or their organization. Any, just I took one example. So that is known as a overlapping. So here instead of this either, what I can do, I can write this either is okay, accepted, and here I can write overlapping word. Or other thing what I can do, I can make this as a circle, and here I can write O in between that circle. So it indicates overlapping. Okay. And if it is not allowed in your organization that a person cannot be a customer of your organization, so I can say here this as a disjoint. D means person can either be employee or customer, not both. So that is disjoint. So this was covered in last lecture. Last part from the chapter, that was aggregation, and I told you that we'll cover it in next relationship. So you all know, you all know sentence, paragraph, right? So I'll just ask few questions related with that. Those are basically you know, but to get into that concept, paragraph is a collection of what? Paragraph is a collection of what?
Sentences.
Sentences. Correct. Sentences are collection of
Words.
sentences are collection words, and words are collection of
Letters.
letters, right? So now here we are getting paragraph. When we are saying paragraph, so paragraph is our whole, and sentence is nothing but the part. Whole to part relationship is known as the aggregation. Aggregation is always known as a whole to part relationship. In terms of ER diagram, it is known as relationship among relationship. You are having one relationship among another relationship, that is in terms of ER diagram. In general, aggregation is whole to part relationship. Same concept we will use here. So now here, how this relationship among relationships are shown in ER diagram. So for that, abstraction through which relationships are treated as a higher level entity. What we are doing here, that we will see with the example. Here you can see we are having works on as one relationship, manages as another relationship. Manages is connected to manager. Then from here it is connected to job. From here it is connected to employee, and from here it is connected to branch. So all the four entities are related with the managers. And works on is a relationship which is connected with job, branch, and employee. But the main point over here is when I want to find out the managers for particular task, that is I can say job, which is performed by my employees of particular branch. When I want to find out the manager for particular job which is performed by the employee at particular branch. So in this case, it is very difficult because I have to go through here, then I have to consider this relation, I have to consider this relation. So instead of that, because this is our which type of relationship? Binary, ternary, n-ary. This is ternary, connected to three entity set, works on. And manages is n-ary, connected to four different types of entity set, right? So basically in ER diagram, try to remove this ternary and n-ary. In one case, if you are not able to, that is okay, accepted. But always it is better to break it down. So for that, now what I can do, I will make the diagram like this. So here in this diagram, what you can see, I have collected together employee, job, and branch are connected with works on, and this particular thing I am considering as my one entity. You can see box here. So this one entity connected with manages to the manager. So what will happen here? One big entity is there, means I am hiding all this information from outside world. Abstraction, remember. So relationship among relationship. This is my inside relationship. So this finally I will connect with the managers, this entity connected with the managers and manager. So directly I will get a manager who is handling the jobs related with particular employee of particular branch. So that is relationship among relationship using the abstraction. Advantages of that. What it will do? Eliminate this redundancy, whatever redundancy we were getting, because here in this diagram you can see works on is also connected branch, manage is also connected here, this is again connected here, this is connected. So I'm getting repeated information over here. So redundant information, duplication of my information, that is removed with the help of aggregation. So what it will do? Treat relationship as an abstract entity. I have created one entity, right? Allow relationship between the relationship, abstraction of relationship into a new entity which we created over here, this bigger entity, right? Without introducing redundancy, means now when we are using the aggregation, the diagram is easily we can read as an employee works on a particular job at a particular branch. With this, an employee work on particular job for particular branch, and I will get an employee branch job combination may have an associated manager, because through here I will get all the data together and that is connected with the particular manager. Okay, so this is known as a aggregation. Fine, till here was the end of whatever we are having in our chapter number 2. Now main thing is how to draw a proper ER diagram. Concentrate all of you when we are going through this case study, because tomorrow's practical session we are going to work on your experiment number 1, that is your ER diagram. You have to create come with your problem statement. We will go through your problem statement and you will start drawing the ER diagram. So now you can pay attention over here. So question is, all of you read this problem statement by your own. I will read. A bank has many branches. Okay, while reading, you can do one thing. You can make a list of nouns as well as you can make a list of verbs in your notebook side by side. We will see this case study online only. So from my side, I will try to give as much as I can give, because I don't have board right now. I will use, if possible, one whiteboard, but that is small whiteboard I am having. So let's see. A bank has many branches and a large number of customers. A customer can open different kinds of accounts with the bank. The bank keeps track of a customer by his customer ID, name, customer street, customer city, with the help of employees of the bank. There are different types of loans, each identified by a loan number. Loan amount is paid to the bank on specific date. See here why this specific date. Loan amount is paid to the bank on specific date. It is very important. A customer can take out more than one type of loan. This is, a customer can take more than one type of loan, useful for your cardinality. A loan can be associated to many customers. Again, it is for cardinality. A branch can give different loans. Loans have amount and loan number. These are attributes. The account holder can inquire about the balance in his account. Account can be saving or checking account. They have said here different kinds of account, but here they have mentioned again those can be saving or checking account. So we'll consider those only. An employee can provide different services to many customers. Draw an ER diagram for the bank system. Make suitable assumptions if necessary. But if you are making any assumption other than this problem statement, you have to state those. Otherwise, your ER diagram is not valid. Also mention and use them in showing maximum and minimum cardinality ratio. That you have to show. That is, a cardinality is important. Okay, so this is the ER diagram. What is the first step to draw an ER diagram? All of you read the problem statement properly. This is a problem statement for banking system. Okay, one point note, I can say note for you people. Remember always, whenever you are drawing an ER diagram for any system, for whether it is a hospital system, banking system, or then it is a travel tourist system, whether it is a ATM system, hostel management system, airline, railway, whatever, that particular system will never be your entity. Means in this case, I can see here a bank as, so bank is a noun, right? But I will never consider bank as my entity because I want to show the inside procedure of the bank. So if I will take bank as one entity, then my complete for all the entities will be inside bank only. Show that whole system name in my ER diagram, because that complete whatever you have drawn ER diagram is my system, banking system. Okay, so this point you always remember. This, the name for the system will never be your entity. Okay, so fine. So based on this, now your job is first take 5 minutes, list all the nouns and verbs in your book. And then we will go ahead with that. That is our first step. All of you first list down all nouns, or if you want side by side both, because when you are reading, you will get nouns as well as verbs together. In exam, you can just underline for your reference. Let me know how many of you give me the proper names for entity based on the given problem statement. I will ask anyone. Okay, so can anyone tell me what all nouns you can see in your case study? Whatever nouns you are getting.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am,
Khushbu.
bank and bank branches.
Yeah. So, but now bank we will not consider as a entity. So, we'll not take that as a part of entity. Yeah, just now I told you, whichever system you are drawing, don't take as a entity, because complete system itself is that banking system, right? So that cannot be your entity in banking system. So bank will not come. Okay, branch is correct.
Then accounts,
Accounts, okay.
loans,
Loan,
and customer.
customer, correct. Anyone would like to add
Ma'am,
in this? Yes.
employees.
Employees, correct.
Loan number.
Loan, loan, loan will be entity. Loan number will not be entity. Loan number is an attribute for the loan. Okay. So till now, whatever they said, those all are correct. We are having here branch as one of the entity. Then we are having customer. We are having loan as one of the entity. Account is one of the entity. Employee is one of the entity. And that's it, right? According to this problem statement, these are our entities, right? So now I'll just show you on board. I have roughly drawn this. You all adjust your, because diagram is big, so see to it that you will get all the things on one page. Okay, ER diagram, always try to make your ER diagram on one page. I'm trying to. Okay, so if possible, I'll have just roughly written. Is it visible? Can anyone tell me? Is it visible?
No, ma'am. Ha, yes,
Okay,
yes.
I'll just tell you. At top, I have taken branch. So accordingly, you place your entities in your notebook. At top, I have diagram ready to show you at the end. But right now, you should know how to start and how to manage it. So for that purpose, it is better we will go. You will draw the diagram. Okay. So at top, I have taken branch. All of you take branch as an entity. Below that, in a same line, I have required three entities. Here you can see one is customer, this left side customer, leave some space in between. And then in middle, take loan, again leave some space. And here I have one of the weak entities. So just make a double rectangle. That I will tell you later on. Okay. So branch, leave some space vertically. And then in next line, I have three entities: customer, loan, and here I have weak entity. Okay. After that, again leave some space. Below the customer, I am having employee as another entity. Just below the customer, I have taken employee. Okay. And in between, at loan and this weak entity, below that, in center or somewhere at the place, you can take account as another entity. Account as another entity. And below the account, leave some space. We require that. Even for employee, leave some space below that. Clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these are our entities. Fine. Next part. Next, what we have to do? We have to add the attributes, right? So now here, attributes, I'll just show you. Yeah. Here you can see, we not for attributes, sorry, we require relationship. Second part. Now, branch. We are having branch, and branch is related with what? Can anyone tell me? Branch is related with, because branch is related to so many things. So according to the problem statement, what is given?
Customers.
Yes, but that is related with bank. Bank has many branches and a large number of customer, right? A customer can open different kinds of accounts. So what we can do, customer and account are related, right? Different kinds of accounts. So what we will do here, we have to relate our account and customer. So customer in account, what they will do? Customer in account, what they will do? They will deposit the money, right? They will deposit the money in account. So in between customer and account, add one relationship. I'll show you here. We'll go line by line, so it will be easy. Yeah. In between customer and account, they are related. So what I will do, I required one relationship. So I will say customer and here deposit and connect them together. So this way I will have customer, you can see here, customer are related with account through deposit. So all of you draw this relationship. Next is the bank keeps track of customer by his customer ID. These all are attributes of customer. Okay, that we will add later on. There are different types of loan, each identified by a loan number. Again, this is attribute of loan. Fine. Loan amount is paid to the bank on specific date. Okay. So loan amount is paid to the bank. So here, customer will pay the loan amount. So customer and loan are related. Through which relationship you can add here? Can anyone suggest any relationship? One, we have added deposit for account. what relationship you can add between customer and loan? When I'm taking loan from the bank, what that word we can add?
Withdraw.
Borrow.
Yes,
Borrow.
borrow. So here, in between customer and loan, I will have borrower or borrow, whatever you prefer. So I will have customer and loan with borrower. Okay. Fine. Loan amount is paid on specific date. So now this is okay. Customer is taking loan, borrow the loan, but payment we required to show somewhere. Customer borrow the loan. This part is done. But I required to show loan, but what? Loan amount somewhere is required, right? So that is nothing but pay. Customer do the payment. So this weak entity which I have mentioned here, that is my payment. So write that weak entity name as a payment. Why? Because without payment, your loan is not valid over there, right? Customer will pay some payment in your loan amount, or bank will give some amount as a loan. So that will be somewhere these three are connected. So I have mentioned here loan and payment. Now I required to show one relationship between loan and payment, right? Then only these three are connected, correct? So over there, I will write loan underscore payment as my relationship. So I have added here, this is one relationship set for which the name is, I know this is not visible, that's why I am dictating it. It is loan underscore payment. Connecting these two names. Loan underscore payment is the name which is given by me. I have connected this relationship to payment. I have connected this relationship to loan. Now, can anyone tell me what is my mistake over here? I have shown here three entities. One is customer strong entity, one is loan strong entity, one is payment weak entity. Then I have shown the relationship between each of these two entities, connecting two entities. But in terms of this weak entity, can you tell me what is my mistake over here? There is one mistake. I purposely did that because you should know. What I told you when, yes, someone is talking.
Ma'am,
Yeah, Khushbu?
double diamond.
Yes, because this relationship is totally related into this payment. Payment, all entities will participate in this relationship. So, this diamond will be double, as well as the line which is connected to payment from this will be party, right? Then will be double, and the line which is connected to diamond and payment entity, that is again a total double. I don't have space, so please try to understand. This is my double line and this is the double rectangle. Okay, so this till here we have done. Okay, we'll continue with the problem statement. Customer can, that we will go ahead cardinality later on. A branch can give different loans. Okay, branch can give different loans. So branch and loans are somewhere related. I will again add one relationship between branch and loan. So I can give any name. I will give branch underscore loan, for example, or loan underscore branch. Uh, Please use the same naming here which I am giving, loan underscore branch. The purpose for giving the same naming is we require this for in chapter number, the same diagram. So branch can give any number of loan. So one branch can give many loans, right? So loan underscore branch is my relationship name. This is my relationship name. That is done. Next, a loan can be, that is done. The account holder can inquire about the balance in his account. Okay. Account can be saving or checking account. Saving account or checking account. Type of account. These are types of accounts. So where this will come? Saving account. And checking account. These are types of accounts. So where these will come?
Loan entity.
No. Account.
Attributes of account.
Below account.
Attributes of account. No.
Attribute of loan.
No.
Composite attributes of account.
How composite attribute? These are values. If I am taking type as an attribute for account, then saving and checking account will be the values for that. But those I cannot show in ER diagram, right? Those will come directly in table. But here in my problem statement, they have mentioned that these are two types of account. So account, I can have two more entities over here. You can see here. Saving and checking account, saving account and checking account. Not connected in terms of generalization, specialization. Here I can have saving account is an account, checking is an correct. So these are specialized entities of account. Now I need specialization that I will add on. I will go for attribute part. But till here clear all of this through relation. So that is, an employee can provide different services to any customer. So customer and employee are here. I required one more relation. That can be any. I am taking cust, that is customer underscore banker. Banker means employee. I am saying underscore as a new relationship between my customer and employee. Okay. So here you add one more relationship, cust underscore banker connected with the customer and employee. Now, based on whatever problem statement given, we have done with whatever we can draw for a ER diagram. That is with the entity and their relationship, right? Any other thing you can add in this? A customer can open different kinds of accounts with the bank. Bank means here right now we require to consider with a branch. So we require to connect branch and our account, right? So we'll connect branch and account with one relationship. You can add relationship as a account branch. And I will connect branch. I don't have space right now. I'll just show you on this. See, I have done like this. A branch, I have added one relationship, account underscore branch, connected to branch, and from here it is connected to the account. I have used this space. Okay, clear? Any other relationship you can find out over here in this diagram which is required as per you? Let me know.
Ma'am, loan and account.
Loan and account. Not required, na? Loan and account. Because why? It is not mentioned in problem statement. And if we want to connect with what loan customer has taken, that we will get over here. So customer is having all the data with whatever amount he has taken. And definitely loan account number is as his deposit number. It will be different. for that account number is different. Clear.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Any other, if you are finding in this, then we can add that. Fine. So now, next step, first we have done with entities. Second step with a verb relationship set. Third is our adding the attributes. But before that, one thing I want to tell about the employee. One relationship we are missing, because in employee there is a banking system, there is one manager and others are normally basically they are clerk of the, or we can say worker. So required to add a relationship over here with the help of roles, right? So that we will add with employee. That's why I said leave some space over there. We will add works for relationship, work, manager and worker. So we are having here, I have written here employee. You can see here employee with works for manager and worker. I have not added anywhere cardinality. So here also I will not add right now. Okay, fine, everyone. Okay, next. Till here, everyone finished? All of you have finished till here? We'll go ahead. Mention in chat box, or if you have it, let me know, because then I don't want you all to miss anything.
Ma'am,
Mention in your, yes,
ma'am, can you repeat that manager, worker?
yes. Yeah, people are doing, because I can understand this is online and we require some time for that. So I'll just see here. Yeah. Employee in bank, we are drawing a system for a bank, right? Banking system. So we know that in bank, there is only one manager and remaining all are employees, or we can say worker of the bank. So for that, what we are doing, we are using works for relationship set, which is related with employee only, because manager and worker both are employee of the bank, right? So both are connected to employee only. Last time we saw this in roles part, right? So one role I am mentioning as a manager, second role I am mentioning here as a worker, right? So here worker works for, sorry, manager works for bank as well as workers works for bank, that is as an employee. But how many managers are there? One. So that cardinality I have not added, that I will show you after this. Okay, any other doubt? Okay, complete till here, then we'll go for next part. Okay, so now after this, yeah, we have to add the attributes, right? Now we'll go one by one. I will not draw here attributes, you can draw by yourself. I will just tell you all the, yes, anyone is having any doubt? Shall we wait? Okay, so first we will go for a branch. In problem statement, they have not mentioned any attribute for the branch. So can you suggest some attribute for the branch? You can give any attribute for the branch. Usually what are the attributes for a branch? When we are,
Branch number and branch address.
okay, branch number, branch address is there. We can say branch city right now. Okay, and because address, then further it will get divided. So we'll consider branch city. Okay, branch number, instead of that we can say branch name. And third attribute, which is always very important in particular banking system, that is a asset. Asset means total whatever amount or everything what they are having with that particular branch. So that we required as a third attribute. So now all of you add your attributes over here. for this entity branch. Wherever you have space, now you have to show your attribute. So write one as a branch underscore name, second as a branch underscore city, and third one as assets. Because based on this asset only, that bank number and everything is finalized, how much they are in plus and minus. So assets is very important. So I have added over here because I was having space with a branch. This is branch name, branch city, and branch asset. Okay, now can you tell me from these three which one can act as a primary key? I'm adding right now only with the attribute, so that is easy for us. Branch name, branch city, asset. Asset cannot be a primary key because it is always up and down. Branch city cannot be a primary key, right? Or branch name. Which one you can suggest as a primary key?
Branch name.
Branch
Yes.
name.
So underline that branch name. That is my primary key. Single underline, okay? One underline for the branch name. So here branch part is over. Now we'll move ahead with second, customer. So for customer, they have specified some attribute, that is customer ID, name. They have given only name, so we will mention it as a cust underscore name for our identification. Then go ahead with cust underscore street, that is customer street, customer city, and only these many attributes are given. 4 attributes are given. Customer ID. Add all these attributes to the customer over here. I will add customer ID. Second is customer street. Then we have customer city, and then customer name. And customer ID. Okay, which one from this 4 customer ID I have added here? Customer city, customer street, and customer name. From which primary key?
Customer ID.
Customer
Yes.
ID.
So underline that
Customer ID.
customer ID because that is a primary key. Okay, one more thing. Now here, as I have considered this diagram where I want to show you all the possible notations in one diagram. So here, customer name, can I further divide it? First name, middle name, and last name. So all of you make it as a composite attribute with further 3 division of the attribute in 3 parts. Right here, F underscore name, M underscore name, and L underscore name. I don't have space, or shortly I have written here. So customer name, you can see here, I have further classified into 3 different parts. First underscore name, middle underscore name, that is N, and L underscore N, last name. So this is the way how it is typing over there. I have not done any typing. Fine. So based on that, yeah. So customer is done with all attributes with primary key. Fine. So then next we are having a loan. Customer borrow loan. So here loan, any attribute is given over there with loan?
No.
Yes. So loan, add that attribute, loan number. Loan number. Any other attribute you people feel is required over there?
Loan amount.
Yes, correct. So I have added here with the loan number, and loan amount. Just I have written as an amount. So here loan number will be my primary key, right? So I'm making loan number as a primary key. So all of you make loan number as your primary key. Fine. Now next, customer done, loan done. Now next we have payment. Payment is our, we have shown as a weak entity set, right? But weak entity set is having its own some of the attributes, right? So here for payment, which we are having, what attributes can come for a payment? I'll Payment amount will be one of the attribute, because how much payment I am doing for bank for against my loan, so I require that payment amount. Then second, payment number will be there as payment underscore number, and last one, that is a payment when I am doing the payment, so that date is very important. So here you can see payment is my weak entity, so I have added payment date, payment number, and here I have added payment amount, right? But out of this, which can be act as my partial key? Payment number can act as a partial key. Why this is a weak entity, or why this key is not called as a primary key? Because payment number, sometimes it is just a number like a random number generated, or we can say the number is starting from 1 to 10 based on the receipt number. So based on the receipt book, but here I am not considering receipt book for that particular thing. So what I can say, this is my type of key, but it is a partial key. So I have to underline it with which line? Partial keys are shown with the help of dotted line. Okay, so payment number is my partial key, underline with a dotted line. Okay, so for payment done, here I have payment date, so there is no need to add any date attribute for this relationship, because I am already mentioning the date over here. Okay, for my loan. Till here clear all of you? We'll move ahead. Now, customer deposit into account, but when are they accessing that? When are they doing that payment? So I required to add one attribute for this relationship. When I have accessed my account, when you are using the internet banking, usually you get every time the message that you have access your internet banking account on so and so date at so and so time, right? So that is nothing but based on this access date. For that access date, they have created a trigger, and then you are getting that message, right? So when I am accessing my account, so I will write one attribute for this deposit relationship, that is access date. I'll write like this: access underscore date. Access underscore date. I have added one attribute for the relationship, that is deposit. Okay, fine. Now we will come to our customer and employee part. Customer attribute we have written, now employee. Now there is one relationship we have added as a cust underscore banker, but there are different types of customer banking banker relationship, right? Sometimes we go to the loan section for inquiry, we go to the cashier, we go to the locker, and many things. So what type of relationship, what type of communication you are having between this customer and banking, so that you can mention with the help of type as one of the attributes. So I can add one of the attribute for this first banker, that is type. For the relationship, I have added the type as the attribute. Between these two, customer and employee are communicating for what part? That is type attribute I have added. It is optional. If you are not drawing, as it is not mentioned in your problem statement, it is okay. But I am giving you complete view how to draw the ER diagram. So I have added the type. Okay. Now we'll move ahead to the employee part. For employee, what attributes can come for employee? They have given any attribute for employee in your problem statement? Is there any attribute specified in your problem statement? No, right? So for that, you can add any attribute of your choice. I have added the attribute in such a way that we will cover all type of attributes. till now we have covered only the composite attribute, right? We have not covered derived attribute. We have not covered the multi-valued attribute. So now you all write down the attributes. One is employee ID, right? Employee ID as one of the attribute. Below that, write the second attribute, dependent name. Dependent name. Then write down next attribute as start date, means when the person joined the bank, start date. Then write telephone number, tel underscore number you can write in short, and then one more attribute you can write emp underscore name, employee name. And one more attribute which is very important, employment underscore length. Now, yeah, I have added wherever I got the space. Employee is my entity. One attribute I have added employee ID. So out of all these, employee ID will be my primary key, right? So right now you all make the employee ID as my primary key. Okay. Then we have employee name, which I have added here. Then we have dependent name. How many people are dependent on that employee? That is the family members, you can say. That is their dependent name. So it is possible that you may have more than one dependent name. So this is which type of attribute? Multi-valued. So I have made this dependent name as a multi-valued attribute by mentioning it into the double ellipse. You can see here. Okay. Then I have added a start date. If I know the start date when that employee joined the bank, I can find out the total year of experience. So that I have mentioned here, employment length. This is employment length is my which type of attribute? Based on as I know the start date, joining date.
Derived.
Yes. So this will come into the dotted ellipse. So all of you make this ellipse as a dotted ellipse. Okay, employment length will be in a dotted ellipse. And one more attribute I have added here, telephone number. If you want, you can show this telephone number also multi-valued attribute. But right now, as I have already shown one, I am not going in confusion for that. Because further we required all these to convert. So I am considering only one dependent, that is dependent name as multi-valued attribute. Okay, so these are the attribute for employee. Okay, now last one is account. For account, we have done with saving account and checking account. But for account, we require some attribute. So what attribute an account can have? Somewhere it is mentioned, we can access the balance in a problem statement, right? Yeah, the account holder can inquire about the balance in his account. So we required a balance attribute for account. So I am writing balance. And second attribute which is very important, that is account number, right? So account number will be the primary key. So for account, I am having account number and balance. So these two attributes you can see I have added your account number and balance, right? Now for this, I have further divided into saving account and checking account. For saving account, I will have interest, rate of interest, right? So interest rate will be my special attribute. So somewhere with the saving account, you mention interest underscore rate. So I have just added here. If you have space below this saving account, you can add over there. So I have just added here interest rate. And for checking account, I will not have any interest rate, but I will have overdraft amount. So that particular thing they will mention for me the for checking account, if it is a checking account, overdraft underscore amount. So this is the special attribute for checking account. This is the special attribute for saving account. And these two are by default present into this both. Parents attributes are hierarchically accessed by lower level entity. Okay. So till here clear all of you. So here our ER diagram is complete. So we have completed our ER diagram, or still there is something left. We have done entities.
Ma'am, can you explain again?
Yes, we have done entities, we have done a relationship set, we have done attributes, and then we have added primary key. Now one part is left. Krishna, I will explain this diagram on this PPTs I have added. So once I'll finish here, I will show you over there. So it will be easy for you to see that, right? Is it okay? Because here all I have just jumbled everything. So last part left for this, that is which is that part? Can anyone tell me? One part is left.
Cardinality.
Yes.
Guardian.
So now last is cardinality. We'll go ahead. Wherever we have relationship, we'll go with that. We have branch related with account. One branch can have many account, right? So towards the branch, I will put arrow. One here. One branch can have many accounts. So here I will not mention anything. Solid line indicate many and arrow indicate one, right? So here for branch I have arrow. Towards branch arrow for this relationship. Okay. Now branch is further related with loan. So again same branch. One branch can give many loan, or I can say many loan are provided by a branch. So here towards branch I will show arrow. Okay. So this is the one to many. This is one to account many. Okay. So further branch is not related with any other entity. Now we'll go to the customer. Okay. Customer with the borrower for loan. So I can say one customer can borrow many loan. So one to many. One loan is borrowed by many customers. Sometimes people are having joint account, right? So many people can borrow the same loan, right? So again here it is from one to many. So both side one to many, it is converted towards to the many to many, right? One customer can borrow many loan. So here it is coming many. One loan is taken by many customers. So again here it is coming many. So I will not put anything over here. Solid line itself indicate the many. Okay. Now for here loan and payment, there is no need to show any cardinality because it is already total participation. And for every loan, one loan you will have a payment, right? So towards loan it is one. Payment is related with one loan at a time. So it is one loan will have a payment. So towards loan I am having the arrow. Okay. Now next I am having customer deposit into the account. So as per that, customer is there in your problem statement, it is given many customer can deposit into account. If it is a joint account, 2 to 3 people can also deposit into the same account. That is many customer deposit into one account. And I can say many account are handled by one customer. So both side one to many. So it is many to many. Okay. So many customer related with deposit in many account. Done. Then we are having customer and employee. Again here customer based on the type of employee, they will communicate with one employee. So if I am saying it is a manager, so based on the type they will communicate with one manager only. If I am saying customer connected to any of the employee, but they will inquire, suppose they want to inquire about loan, they will go to one person. If they want to inquire about the locker, they will go to one person. So I can say many customer inquire with one person, one employee at a time. So here towards the employee, one I have added. Okay. Then account is a generalization, specialization. So there is no need to do that. Okay. Now I will show you the diagram and I will explain it again step by step. I'll do one thing. I'll copy the diagram into Word file. Is it visible? Students, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, first, if any part is left to draw in your book, you can now refer here. First, what we have done, we have identified the nouns from the problem statement. So I have just placed the nouns as in my entity into
Your
one
screen is
place.
not visible.
Yes,
Screen is not visible, ma'am. You are not sharing the screen.
screen is not shared. Okay,
Now
okay,
Yes,
it
one
ma'am,
is.
minute.
shared.
Now it is shared. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
It is visible, na?
Yes, yes. Ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine. So now first what I have done, I have identified all the nouns and based on that I have added the entities. So first one I have added the branch. You can see my cursor. So accordingly you can draw also, that will be easy. Branch. Then I have taken customer. Then I have taken loan. Then I have taken payment. Payment, right now I don't know whether it is weak entity or strong entity. I have just mentioned as my entity. Then I have added account and I have added employee. So these all entities I have just listed. You can place employee over here. It is right. Any place, anywhere you can place the entities to show your ER diagram, doesn't matter. I have just asked you because I know what will be the ER diagram, final ER diagram, and how you can relate them. Otherwise it is like overlapping will come in your ER diagram. That should try to avoid overlappings. Okay. So that was about the entity. Then I have identified nouns. Sometimes it is possible that in your problem statement, whichever words are given, you don't want to use those words as your noun. So for that, what you can do, you can add your other relationship name is accepted. Somewhere I have added, see here, branch related with loan, because they have said branch provides the loan. Always that has to be related. So I have given name as a loan underscore branch. I have specifically given these names to understand this is a relationship between these two entities. You can give any other name such as branch, provide, loan. So here instead of loan underscore branch, you can write provide, it is accepted. Okay. Then I have relationship between branch and account. Every branch is having number of accounts. So I have said branch with account and branch relationship, they are connected. So here it is connected with account. You can see this line. Okay. So this relationship I have added. Then I came here with the customer. Customer borrow the loan. So borrower is a relationship set which I have added between customer and loan. Every entity, when you are connecting with another entity, remember you required a relationship between them. Okay. Then if I am taking loan, definitely I have to do the payments, right? So for loan I required one entity, that is a payment. But payment number can be general. Sometimes in banks they just number 1 to 100 starting payment number for one day. Every day they are having some category, next day again 1 to 100. So based on that, this payment number is not my strong key attribute. Uniquely it will not identify, it will just give me roughly for that day. If I am considering date and payment number, then I can say it is a strong primary key. So for here, what I have done, payment number I have taken as a partial key, and as it is not having a primary key, I have made this payment as my weak entity set. When entity set is a weak, it is totally dependent on the strong. Now here payment is controlled, so payment depends on the loan entity. So for that, every set is real. So it is total. So you can see here double solid line I have added. Okay, and the relationship is a total relationship for weak entity set, that is a double diamond. Okay, till here clear? Then we have come towards the customer and employee. Customer can inquire employee for many different aspects. So many customer can inquire to one employee at a time. So in that case, I have written cust banker as my relationship set name. But there are different types of inquiry or anything you can have. So for that, to mention that, I have specified here type as the attribute. Okay, it is again optional because in problem statement it was not mentioned, but when you are really going for your ER diagram, you can add it. Then customer will have an account, also for that I have written customer deposit into the account. Okay, so customer deposit into account, but we require the date when we have done. So for that I have written access date as an attribute for this depositor relationship set, because number of times I will do this, right? Deposit into the bank. Here for borrower, I have not added that date, access date, because only once I will get the loan from the bank. That is only one date which will be available with my loan. And again, payment when I am doing that payment date I have added over here. For that, here I have mentioned the payment date. So for deposit, I require this access date as an attribute. Okay. Then one more relationship we require, that is a for employee. We are having number of employees in a bank, but out of that all are worker, but only manager is one. So I have mentioned manager as one role and worker as other role, where they are connected with a works for. Same diagram last time I showed you, this side employee, this side again employee, and works for in between, and this side manager, this side worker. But that is not required because in ER diagram only we specify the entity once only. So this way it is connected to employee only. Okay, as it is only one manager, so this side it is one towards manager, to employee it is one, that is arrow you can see, and for worker there are many, so it is solid line connected. Okay, other thing, then we have this was there. After employee, we have come towards the account. They have specified there are two types of account. One is saving account, other is a checking account. So here, if you don't want to show this generalization specialization, what you can do, for account you can write one attribute, that is a type as an attribute for account, and for that the saving account and checking account will be the values which will come into the table. But always, as it is, these are mentioned in your ER diagram, it is always better to show into the generalization specialization, that is a relationship. Always this triangle is like this only. Main side towards the account, that is a parent class, and uh, the one side, one corner of the triangle towards this side. Okay, now main thing here is I know the specialized attribute for these two entities. That is, for saving account I will have interest rate, which is not for checking account. For checking account I will have overdraft amount, which is not for saving account. That's why I'm saying these two are different accounts. Okay, and that is the reason I have shown that this in my ER diagram. If you don't know this specialized attribute, there is no meaning of showing these two different entities. Okay, that is the part about the generalization specialization, that is my extended ER diagram. Then I have, after this uh, entity and relationship set, I have added the attributes for all the entities, and wherever possible for the relationship set, right? Many places I have tried, here I have not added that customer name. I have further divided into first name, middle name and last name, that I have added later on to show all types of attributes. So that is composite attribute I have shown here. Then derived attribute I have shown here in terms of employment length, that is total year of experience, with the help of start date, that is a joining date. And dependent name I have shown as a multi-valued attribute, so I have not shown this telephone number as multi-value. Only one attribute I have shown of one type. Then remaining are primary key attribute. Key attribute I have shown everywhere wherever possible. Right? Loan number, then branch name, customer ID, employee ID, then account number. Here this is a partial key or discriminator, that is payment number. Till here, everything is clear. And finally, I have
Can you
added.
explain the relationship about
Yes.
the ISA, the account one
Yes.
again?
Yes. Account. Okay. Okay. When we are having a relationship, I have added here like this account, right? In my diagram. Correct? Account is there, but in diagram they have specified there are two types of diagram. So here for account, I have added the attributes as balance and account number. Right? These are the two attributes which I am finding are important for the account. Further, they have mentioned there are two types of account. One is saving account and second one is a checking account. Right? Here you should mention the complete name I have just mentioned. Now here they have mentioned checking account and saving account in my problem statement. Otherwise, what I can do, I can write here just as one of the attribute, which is type. Right? If I am writing here type as an attribute, I can say the value for these attribute are saving account and checking account. But those will not be visible, saving account and checking account, in my ER diagram. I want to show them in ER diagram. So I have specified them as an entity, but they are type of this account. Means this account itself hold these two. So what I can say, they are part of this or type of this account. So I am saying that is a relationship. Is a relationship where account is my parent and saving account and checking account are subclasses of that. But sometimes you are doing all this. This is correct. But after doing this, you are leaving this diagram. This is done, you are thinking, but that is wrong. When you are doing this particular thing, that is showing the generalization, that is bottom to top generalization, top to bottom specialization, see to it that there is one special attribute present for these two. Then only you can say these two are different. Okay, sometimes I am saying, suppose in your class I am saying a student is my top level entity, and I am saying FE student and SE student. So for FE student and SE student, what is the special attribute I am having? If you know that special attribute, then only show these two separate entities. Otherwise you can just say student as a class attribute, and for that the values will be FE, SE, TEB. Okay, because if you are saying it is FE and it is SE, what is the special different attribute they are having? If you are saying joining date, so both will have the joining date. If you are saying 12th marks, both will have the 12 marks, right? So such thing will not come into the generalization specialization. So now here, for saving account in banking system, always there is a interest rate, which is not for checking account. That is my special attribute. And because of that, I am saying it is a special entity. Similarly, for checking account, they always have overdraft amount. So that is not there for saving account. In saving account, you can have any number, total whatever amount you want to add. So these are the two attributes which are present only with respect to respective to that entities, not with others. And due to that, I am saying they are different. And that's as I know they are different, I am showing them as a special entities of account. And remaining attribute, that is the balance and account number, are by default present into this saving account and checking account. So no need to show those attributes over here. Those we will take later on when we will go to the third chapter, how to add those attributes over here. Clear till here, all of you? Any other doubt?
Yes, ma'am. No doubt.
Okay. Anyone else? So we'll move with the ER diagram, right? So this is our ER diagram. So then cardinality I have added based on, we will have only one branch into this particular city, right? So I have mentioned one branch can have many accounts. So here, wherever I have written here one branch, this is one notation which I have shown you. Other notation you can also have. Suppose I want to show this is branch and this is branch account or account branch, whatever. Then they are related with, suppose I am saying account, right? So now here, when I am saying branch and are related with account, there is one branch. I am having one branch with many account, right? One branch provides many account. Now here, this is one notation where arrow towards this branch indicate one. Solid line towards this account indicate many. This is one notation. Suppose I am confused into arrow and all this, so I don't want to use. So go for these notations, star and 1, 2, whatever you want. Okay, that is other type of notation. We have seen all these notations. That is a cardinality, right? So any doubt in this ER diagram any student is having right now? Problem statement or every case study we will solve batch wise, and then later on you can share those. Okay. So in this ER diagram, I have tried to cover each and every concept of the ER diagram and try also for ER diagram. Mostly we are not going for aggregation. If you want, you can further go into detail and you can also add for aggregation by adding some project and all that. But I feel it was not required for banking system, so I have not added that. But almost each and every point I have covered of ER diagram into this diagram. Okay. So everyone is clear with this diagram. I hope you have completed this diagram with you, because next lecture we will immediately start, not next lecture, next chapter when we will start, we require this diagram. Then only we will convert this ER diagram into relational model. Okay. So we'll go for next question. Just mention in your chat any doubt or we can move ahead with the next question. So I will go ahead. Or if you require to know this, let me know. Okay. So I hope mostly 10 marks are there for this diagram, ER diagram. You will get definitely the 10 marks. You will cover each and every point, and always don't leave this question. This question is very simple. Whatever diagram you will draw, but only with the proper notations. Okay. You will get some or rather few marks for that diagram. So never ever leave this question. Try this question. Try to attempt that question. Okay, we'll move ahead then. There is one question from university which I have added for you people. So the question says, 1 minute, I'll just put off this. Question is, with reference to the figure shown below, list and explain the attributes, keys and relationship type. They have given you the ER diagram, and for this ER diagram, you have to list all the attributes which are present over here, all the keys which are present in this diagram, and all the relationship set. From these attributes and keys is simple. This is one of the difficult part over here, which was the question in 2018 and where the student got confused because of these notations. You can see here 1 1 comma 1 4 comma n, and for these only I have added the new slide in your presentation that was about this notation. This is minimum and maximum. Minimum 4, maximum n. Minimum 1, maximum 1. So that is 1. Fine. So now we will solve this question. So first what you will write, all of you? Somewhere you make a note in your notebook, because I will add this question as your assignment question where you have to solve it properly. So first we'll start with ER diagram. So first write down, all of you, the name of the entities, entity names or entities in a given ER diagram. There are how many entities? Can anyone tell me the answer? How many entities are given? How many entities are given in this ER diagram?
3 entity.
3 entities. Those are employee, then we have department and project, right? So 3 entities are given. Note down those 3 entities. Okay. Next, attributes. For attributes, you write down for employee. Below that, write down which all attributes you have over here. All these attributes are simple attribute: birth date, SSN, address, salary, then sex, then name. All these are simple attribute, but there is one attribute which is for the classified, that is a name. So for name attribute, this is which type of attribute?
Derived attributes, no?
No.
The composite attributes,
Yes.
but the other,
The attribute which is for the classified or which is for the divided, not derived, divided word. Okay. So here you will mention, for employee, you will mention name as a composite attribute which is further divided into first name, middle initial name, and last name, or middle name you can write here, and last name. Okay. So that is about the composite attribute. Remaining all attributes are normal attribute. Okay. SSN is a primary key attribute, but that definitely we are going to write into the keys. So if you are not mentioning, also valid. And then other attributes are simple attributes. You can say just name of this dash simple attribute. Name composite attribute. Clear? Yes, Mitesh?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt?
No.
Okay. Then we'll go ahead with a department. For department, name and number are primary key attribute, or you can say composite attribute, composite key attribute also. Then location is which type of attribute? Location.
Multi.
Yes. Anyone else?
multi-valued.
Multi-valued, because double ellipse. So write down location, multi-valued attribute. Name plus number, key attribute. Okay. Next, for project, there is no specific attribute. Location is a simple attribute. Name plus number, key attribute. Any other attribute is there? Yeah. Number of employees for department. This is which type of attribute?
Derived.
Derived. So here you will write derived attribute. Okay. Now, this is a 10 marks question. So if you are writing only this much for attribute, is it okay? From my side, I'll say it is not valid, because you will not get full marks for that. What you are supposed, what actually what they are expecting? when you are writing over here name as a composite attribute, what you are supposed to write below that? Attribute which is further divided into another attribute is known as a composite attribute. And then, as given in the ER diagram, for employee entity, name is a composite attribute which is further divided into first name, middle name, and last name. This all is expected. Your definition of that type of attribute and further example which is there. Similarly, the attribute which is having more than one value is known as a multi-valued attribute. For example, in department entity set, location is known as a multi-valued attribute which is represented by a double ellipse. Okay. Similarly, attribute which is derived from some another attribute is known as the derived attribute. In department entity set, number of employees is derived from which entity set? Number of employees are derived.
Department.
Yes,
From
from department, that is a number. Here number is there, na? So that is department. Actually, this number is department number. We will not get that number of employees from this number or name. We know that department, particular department is there, and these are the total number of employees, right? So with the name of the department, you will get the number of employees. So that is by default present for every department, so that you can add as a derived attribute. But still, I think they need to give one more attribute which is deriving this attribute, but they have not given. So we will not add that. We'll just specify this is the derived attribute. Okay, fine. Then that was about the attribute. Now key attribute. Which all key attributes are they given? For employee, SSN, social security number, is the primary key attribute. What is the primary key attribute? Write the definition of that. Okay. Then for department, name plus number is a primary key candidate key attribute which is called as a primary key in this case. Okay. Similarly, for project, name plus number is a candidate key attribute which is called as a primary key in this case. They have done mistake. They have given a same name. See, three places you are having the name. Then it is really difficult when you are combining this diagram into the coding part. So always it is better for your ER diagram, you don't make this mistake. Okay. When they are giving, it is valid. When we are drawing, it is not accepted. Fine. So always remember, you will not do this mistake. That is about the keys. Last part, that is relationship set. Now you will tell me one by one. First one, you will take relationship set. First, you will write works for. Works for which type of relationship set? You have cardinalities with you here and here. Do you all remember I have given minimum and maximum wala ek table? You want to see again that table? Without that you will not get this. I'll show you. That this example only I have added that table. Yeah, here. This is left table cardinality, means left side entity of the relationship set. Right table cardinality means right side of the relationship set. Okay. So left side, if it is given as 1, 1, 1, means minimum 1, maximum 1. When it is 1, 1, it is always 1. Remember 1. 2, 1, 2. Right side again it is, if it is 1, 2, 1, 1, it is again 1. Maximum is 1. So 1. So 1, 2, 1. Remember? Then if it is 0 to 1, maximum is 1. So I will take 1. And right side is 1. Then it is maximum is 1. So 1 to 1 again. Right? Left side optional है 0 or 1. But it is 1. Maximum is 1. So I have taken 1 to 1. Left side is 0 to n. Maximum is n, so many. Right side is 0 to 0 comma n, means many. So many to many. So both side optional, many to many. Left side 1 comma 1 means 1. Right side 1 comma n. N means many. So 1 to many. 1 to many. Only these 4 are there. Types of relationship set. So we have learned all those 4. Now it is clear for you. Now you tell me for this diagram. Yeah. Sorry. For this diagram. For works for is which kind of relationship set? This is left. This is right for this particular relationship set. Left is given this. One is minimum, one is maximum. 1 to
1 to 1. The left one is 1 to 1.
left.
One to one.
Left one is 1. Left is minimum 1, maximum 1. So this is 1. And here left is 4 or 4 minimum and maximum n. So it is many. So 1 to many. Clear?
No, ma'am. Can you show the diagram again?
Yeah. I'll show this. See here. 1 minute. I think. Krishna, as per this, I'm showing here also. When I am saying this is particular relationship set connected with one or two entities. If it is 1 comma 1 and it is 1 comma 1, okay, when it is given like this for ER diagram, what I am saying, this relation entities are participating that minimum 1, maximum 1. When it is maximum 1, I will say 1. If it is right side minimum 1, maximum 1, so I will say I will select maximum, that is 1. So this is the relationship which is 1 to 1. Clear? Now if I am having here 0, 1, minimum 0, maximum 1. So I will say maximum 1, so 1. If right side it is 1 comma 1, minimum 1, maximum 1, so it is maximum 1. Again it is 1 to 1. Okay, if it is given as 0 comma, instead of 1 it is star or n, then it is maximum is n, that is many, so I will say many. If it is again 0 comma star, means maximum is 1, minimum 0, so maximum is 1, so again I am selecting maximum, many to many. Okay, now if it is 1 comma 1, means maximum is 1, so it is 1. Here 0 to star, that is maximum is many, so it is many, so 1 to many. Now clear? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone? So now we are having here with this part, that is in this case. Now works for is 1 comma 1, minimum 1, maximum 1, means maximum we will select, so it is 1, 2, here 4 comma n, minimum 4, maximum n, so maximum is n, means many, so it is 1 to many relationship set. Okay, works for. Now you tell me for this controls between department and project.
Many to one.
Many to one. Now here, basically you have to specify like this. For example, when we are going for works for, you can write works for equal to one to many. Then write down with the sentence below that, one employee works for many departments. Why? Because it shows the way you are reading it. Okay, because both direction you can read. So second part, that is controls. Right now you said many to one, it is correct. But if I want to read like from project to department, then I'll say it is one to many. So below that write down, many department controls one project. Clear? Now next, works on. Works on.
Many to many.
Many to
Many
many.
to many. Correct.
Many
So now
employees work on one project.
many employee work on many project.
Many projects.
Yeah. Or else you can write, he said all, that is also correct. Many employee works on one project, or many project worked or handle works or work on by one employee. Clear? Both side, one to many, and from here one to many. So many to many finally. Clear? So if you are writing many to one type sentences, then you have to write two sentences. Otherwise, you can write many to many, then one sentence. But always it is preferable to write both sentences, so that it is clear, because this one concept will also get clear. Now next, supervision.
Many.
Many employees by one
One
supervisor.
employee.
Supervisor and supervisee, right? So many one, there is only one supervisor for many supervisee, right? So here one to many. Clear? So that sentences are very important when you are explaining about the relationship types. Okay, or once it is given relationship type, below that you can write there are four types relationship: one to one to many to one, and many to many. As per given diagram, works for is one to many type, and so on. That complete thing you can write, but write point wise. Don't write essay type, because no one is going to read your answer. If points are visible, underline the words many to many where you are using in your sentence. That will give clear idea what you want to say. Okay, so this is about the diagram. After these references which I have taken for this particular chapter, that is all the things are available in both the books, that is a Korth as well as Navate. I have referred the edition 6 because in 7 there are lots of changes and words are also difficult. Language is difficult, so it's better to go for edition 6. So now here you will get all this concept into chapter 7 of both the books. Similarly, if you want to go for extended ER diagram points, that is generalization, specialization, then accordingly the chapter numbers are different in different books. This about 2 books. Okay, so refer those if you want. If you want to buy any book, I'll suggest go for Korth. Okay, then these are some self-learning topics which you are supposed to do by yourself. These by default we are going to do in tomorrow's practical session. That is for your problem statement, we will create a ER diagram, right? So these are few example I have given. These you can try for yourself, which may be asked during your exam, because these are given during our orientation of your subject by university. So I'll suggest go through this, solve this ER diagram for your practice. Okay, thank you. Further, for any question, if you are having, you can ask, or else I'll go for attendance. Okay, for tomorrow's lecture, what you are supposed to do, you all have created your groups, right? So based on those groups, you have identified your problem statement. So if those students who have not formed their groups and not given your group name to the CR, please do that by today itself. Identify your case study title with problem statement. All of you keep ready your problem statement and what exactly you want to present using that problem statement. So tomorrow we will have 2 hours, so we'll not waste more time on problem statement, and we can continue with our ER diagram. Okay, so that is important notification which I want to tell you. So tomorrow we will work on experiment number 1, because as soon as we have completed theory, we should go for a practical. Fine. So prepare with your problem statement today itself. The way I have prepared for banking example, you prepare your problem statement, and accordingly tomorrow we'll discuss that. Okay, I'll take attendance. Yes, present. Why? Any problem? Okay, fine. No problem. We will go ahead with that. 2,
Present, ma'am.
3. What about this Pratik? Is he absent for all lecture? Finally, I'll find out with other teacher. Then 4. Vinod. 5.
Present, ma'am.
5. There is one more Shubham, right? Who told me he is not
Yes,
coming.
I only told.
Okay, okay.
I joined a half
Good, good.
lecture.
Okay. But is it clear to you? Because this is very important part we discussed today.
Yes, ma'am, half is clear. I will ask doubt to you again.
Okay. Okay. Then 6,
Present, ma'am.
7. This person has not joined the classroom also. I don't know what is the situation, but he is not there. 8, it is there. 9,
Present.
Present, ma'am.
10, 10. Steve, I saw you. Absent?
Oh, ma'am, present 11.
11. I'm asking for 10. 10 is not there? Okay. But somewhere I saw this person. 11, 12,
Present, ma'am.
13,
Present, ma'am.
14,
Present, ma'am.
15,
Present, ma'am.
16, 17,